My name is Anand. I'm an occupational therapist, acupuncturist, and a naturopath. I trained about 25 years ago, and over the years, I have studied different aspects of complementary medicine like yoga, meditation, Shivambu, and lots of other natural therapy techniques. Today, I'm incorporating all these bits of information for the benefit of my viewers and listeners to help them get an insight into how to get to better health. Pranayama. Pranayama is a Sanskrit word for control over breathing. When we refer to pranayama, pranayama suggests that breathing can be modulated in very many ways. Literature talks about hundreds of different ways of breathing techniques with variations in time and modulation, controlling breathing in, holding, breathing out, holding. Breathing in and hold, the hold is referred to as Antar Kumbhaka, and breathing out and holding, that holding is referred to as Bahir Kumbhaka. We are going to restrict ourselves to pranayama of a simplistic nature, focusing on basic health and welfare for most of us. Each one of us should be able to practice these simple pranayama exercises without too much concern. I will list some concerns that may be there, for which you must check with your local doctor to make sure you do not have any side effects. We are going to talk about 4 different breathing exercises now, and I will make reference to each one separately. The first one is referred to as complete yogic breathing. Some people refer to it as complete breathing. Number 2 we'll be referring to is a type of Bhastrika, which is mainly breathing in and out through the nose in a particular manner. The third one we'll be referring to is Kapalbhati, which is more breathing in from the stomach. And the fourth one is a type of breathing which I refer to as Hanuman exercise. It is a forceful breathing which I will describe as we get there. Let us first talk about breathing per se. Most of us breathe all the time, and we know that if we stop breathing for more than 3 minutes, we are dead. Breathing is essential for life. What we forget is, as we breathe, our breathing pattern actually consists of 4 parts. Breathing in, holding, that is holding our breath, breathing out, and holding our breath. But when we breathe day to day, we do it in such a simplistic manner that we forget we are using all the 4 steps of breathing. Let us look at how we normally breathe today. Our normal breathing is something like this. Just watch my breathing. It just appears like I'm breathing in and breathing out. But there is a microsecond of gap where we breathe in and hold, and we breathe out and hold. Now, when we look at pranayama as an exercise format, one of the most important things to realize is any exercise should have work done by the body. In this case, the lungs. And we need to exercise our lungs to get the benefit that we are looking for. So when we talk about a full, complete breathing, we are talking about as best as you can. Let us now look at how we can demonstrate one complete breath. We start with breathing out, and it is the time required or the time taken for one breath, from the start of one breath till the start of the next breath. I just demonstrated 2 deep breaths, and you would have noticed a few things that would have been obvious. I will describe it just to make sure that it is very clear. When you breathe in deep, your abdomen comes out, and this is because we are using the diaphragm to help breathe deep and full. When we breathe out, the tummy gets pushed in to push the diaphragm upwards, so that you try to empty the lungs as best as you can. The concept behind deep breathing, the way I have just demonstrated it, is to get complete use of the air that we breathe in. What do I mean by that? When we breathe in, we are supposed to breathe in as much as you can so that you fill the lungs with air. When you hold your breath, that is for the body to absorb all the oxygen that is available from the air in the lungs, and at the same time throw out all the carbon dioxide from the blood into the lungs. When you can't hold anymore and you need to breathe out, it is generally a sign that most of the oxygen has been used up and carbon dioxide is at its maximum and the body wants to push it out. Slow, complete breathing out, pushing the tummy in, pushing the diaphragm up into the lungs, is trying to empty the lungs to its maximum so that you get rid of all the stale air, all the carbon dioxide as much as you can. At the end of that, holding your breath is actually conditioning your body to be tough enough to manage your circulation in spite of oxygen debt for a little while. I am not yet sure what are the exact benefits of the oxygen debt holding, but we have experienced that when people breathe this way, they feel much more livelier, much more energetic, and a lot calmer. We find this type of breathing very useful for people who are anxious, high stress, people with blood pressure, etc. A few precautions here. This type of breathing exercise, you should do deep breathing as best as you can for 30 minutes, minimum 20, maximum 30 minutes, and you must do each breath to your best ability. What do I mean by that? You will find that you do one deep breath maybe about 30, 40, 50 seconds, and the next breath you might find you're too tired and you do it only for 10 or 15 seconds. After 2 or 3 breaths at 10 or 15 seconds, you might find your body has recouped and you can come back to 40 or 50 seconds. So you must keep going this challenge for the lungs to perform to their best, to your maximum ability for good 20 to 30 minutes. For people who have got high blood pressure, who feel lightheaded or dizzy, who have got some health problems, maybe some back problems, anything that you feel might aggravate or you're not sure, please check with your doctor before you attempt this. A rough rule of thumb is 100 minus age. What do I mean by that? Each breath is equal to 100 minus age number of seconds. For example, if somebody is 40 years old, 100 minus age is 60 seconds, so their maximum ability that they should be able to aim for, everything being fine and good, is they should be able to have 60-second breaths for 30 minutes. If one can do that, generally you will find that they'll feel much more livelier, much more energetic, and would have a lovely day. This is so much about basic deep breathing or complete breathing. We will now move on to Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati is an exercise where the nostrils are not supposed to move. The nose is not supposed to function. You are supposed to push the air in and out by using the stomach. Something like this. Okay? Now that sound is coming because of the air moving out. I am not using the force from the nasal muscles like this. I'm pushing only from the abdomen. So that is rule number 1. Only push from the abdomen, the rest of the body is relaxed. The second part of the rule is you actually keep working flat chat or as hard as you can, as fast as you can for one session. Doesn't matter whether you can do 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 strokes. I'm going to now demonstrate how it is done and in what capacity or what speed, but each one of you can do it at your speed as best as you can. Now we are going to look at practical demonstration of Kapalbhati, where it is the abdominal muscles that do the work and the nose should not have any play in it. Let's do the best I can. Okay, Kapalbhati should be done to the best of your ability at one stretch, whatever number of strokes you can do. You can do maybe 30, 40, 60, 80, 100, 200 at one shot. It is important to do that because that is when it becomes exercise. The better you are at it, the faster you go. Generally, that exercise takes anything from half a minute to under 2 minutes. Now we'll go to Bhastrika. Bhastrika is about breathing in and out forcibly, using the nostrils and the abdomen. I will just use my handkerchief as required. Let's try that. As you would have noticed, it is quite tiring. Again, Bhastrika should be done non-stop, in one session only, breathing in and breathing out forcibly through the nose as long as you can. If you can do 30, 50, 80, 100 breaths, that's fine. Do it once till you're tired and that's it. Remember, any of these exercises, as you keep progressing, you will end up doing more and more and more. But the exercise will be still within about 1 to 2 minutes. The last pranayama exercise we're going to talk about is what I call the Hanuman exercise. I call it Hanuman because it depicts, the face depicts a bit like Hanuman. Hanuman is one of our gods. In this exercise, you breathe in as deep as you can, and then you blow out with your cheeks puffed out, lips tight, and making the sound, something like this. It's very important in this exercise that we do not breathe out like this. We must keep our cheeks blown out. That is essential because that is what puts pressure on the lungs. I think we might stop here with pranayama. Please direct yourself to your doctor to check if you have any doubts about any of these exercises, because some of them may be strenuous for you. Thank you. I wish you all the very best. Good luck.